Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Northside Plow here with another deck profile from the homie Danny. We went to OTS Championship out of Ridgeland, Mississippi for Advanced CGC for their OTS Championship. It is actually the last duels or tournament that we got to do in the last ban list, which I mean, it's not that different from what's going on. Arise Hard gone, boo-hoo, we're all sad. Let's move on. You did get to play some Cashier today, though, for your last time.
I did. I played it twice, so it's not a hard matchup, but it's not one you want to be seeing all day because one Arise Heart, like many other decks, just screws it over. So we're actually playing Chimera branded. I know the last time you guys saw me, I was on Vanquish Shoal. I said I was going to tinker with that deck a little more. Surprise, I sold it. I sell every deck apparently, and we're on this now.
And you got first place today.
We did. Undefeated in Swiss and then undefeated in the Top Cut. We'll go over the matchups and the shout-outs at the end of the deck profile. But I just want to kind of show you guys what I played. It's standard for the most part. There's a little bit of changes up. The extra deck's a little different and the side deck's a little different. So
cool, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah. All right. So again, we played Chimera branded. So pretty standard Chimera package. 3 Coatl, 3 Mirror Sword Knight, 3 of the little Chimera, 2 of the big Chimera. Some people are playing 3, don't play 3. This card can clog and you don't necessarily want to see it. 3 of the Chimera Fusion. Some people are playing 3, or I'm sorry, some people are playing 2. I like 2, but the problem is I was losing the grind game more often because after turn 1, you're not making like Chimera as much, which means you don't recycle this as much. You want to add it off the hand, and if you open up 2 of this card, it's not always that bad. You want to be able to search it later. So that's the Chimera package, pretty standard. And then for the branded package, we're doing 3 branded fusion, 2 Fallen of Albaz, and 1 light hex sealed. That's strictly just to make Dragoons. This card came up one time where it didn't make Dragoons and it was pretty good for me, but most of the time it's to make Dragoons. Dragoons is pretty good because what you can do is, because a lot of times you open up the Coatl or the Sword or the Mirror Knight, and you have a branded fusion and then you don't want to go into Renbrum, so then you can just go into Dragoons before you do anything else, and then you're free to do whatever you want to do, because as soon as they see that you're playing Chimera, they're not going to ask the branded unless they're big dumb. So that's the branded package. Hand traps, we're playing 2 Imperm, 2 Ash, and 2 Nib. What I was seeing is I was drawing too many multiples of these cards, and you don't want to see that. And I wanted to get this deck to 40 cards. It's a 40 card deck right now, and this is how we did it. I saw these when I wanted to see them. I never saw them in multiples except Imperm against Purely in the Top Cut, and that just destroyed him because he's a bad player. So that was our hand traps, 6 total. He's not a bad player. We love him. He's Devin. But he couldn't outplay 2 Imperm, so you know, is he really that good? No one knows. So we played 2 Fenrir. Shout outs to Joseph for letting me borrow these for like, I don't know, 2 months now. You guys saw these exact 2 Fenrirs in the Vanquish Soul, and I gave them the same shout out. I tried to get the third one to make it 41 cards because this card is amazing and it gives you discard fodder. Next, we're playing for spells. We're playing 2 Prosperity. You never want to see 2 of this card. It's just it's not what you want to see, but it gives you the consistency when you're going first to see cards that are non-engine, and going second it lets you see the non-engine. So for non-engine, we're playing 2 Crossout Designators. To go with the Crossout Designator, we're also playing the Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave was glued to my hand in the Purely matchup, so it was pretty insane. But other than that, I really didn't see Called by the Grave that much. The crossout was insane all day. There was one other person playing Chimera branded. I didn't play him, but if I did, he wasn't playing these in the main or the side, and just this card alone would have shut him down. Then we're playing 3 Super Polys. I think this card is insane right now. I played Cash a lot, so this card came out a lot because this is bad against Cashtira, but this card is insane against Unchained. It's pretty good against Rescue Ace in certain board states. It's just pretty good against everything. It's not super great against Purely. I took it out when I played Purely in Top Cut because I know he knows how to play around Super Poly because he's not bad, contrary to what I just said earlier. So this card was great all day when I wanted it, and then I sided it out when I didn't want it. And then for the last few cards, we're playing 2 Book of Moon and 2 Talents. A lot of people were playing Eclipse, which is fine, but everyone's playing Ash Blossom right now, and you usually always want your book to go through, as well as this plays around cards like Imperm. Everyone's playing Imperm, and then plays around Rescue Aces stuff a lot, and as well as it plays around Unchained a little bit. and VS sometimes. And then Talents is insane. Every time I saw Talents, it was just disgusting of a card. I took so many cards out of people's hands because you're playing the Chimera that rips at the end phase, so they use a hand trap as well. They lost their hand trap, your Talent's ripping, and you're ripping with Chimera. That leaves them with 3 cards in hand, and very rarely are they able to beat you after that. I think everyone I did that to just auto-scooped. That's the main list. It's 40. It should be 41 if you can find another Fenrir. I couldn't. But yeah, the main list was incredibly solid. I'm probably not going to change a single thing about it, to be honest. For the extra, we've got 2 of the Chimera. This card is insane. Some people are playing 3. I think that's incorrect. I didn't even make 2 that often, to be honest. After you make the first one, it puts all of your the negates that are the illusions live, and you don't really want to make more than that. Because I mean, it's good if you're gonna get like this booked or anything like that. So another reason why we don't run Book of Eclipse is because we don't want a Book of Eclipse. If we've gone first and we said Book of Eclipse, it's kind of bad because it'll turn the negates off, whereas Book of Moon doesn't do that. Then we have 2 Guardian Chimera. 2 of this came up a lot. I shotgun these a lot pretty early, especially when I know that I can fusion again, because like, who cares? It's just, you're getting so much advantage, you're drawing cards, you've gone through so much of your deck, you usually always see a hand trap, and if you don't, then you see follow-up for the next turn, and it's incredibly hard for decks to kill you through this. And then for the last Chimera card, we're running the Illusion Beast. This card came up a lot. This is how I had 2 of the Rescue Ace player that I played into. I just swung for like 12,000. I swung for 12,000 or like 9,000 on a few people. This card is just insane for your OTKs. Before this morning, I had no idea how this card even did that until I read the card, so you know, bad on me for doing that. We wanted to run Dragoons because it's Dragoons and you just want to see it. Again, like I said, if you see branded fusion plus one of the starters, you always make this first, that way you play around everything, and it's just insane. Then we're under 1 Mirror Jade, it's Mirror Jade, 1 Rembrandt, you pitch it off of Mirror Jade, or also if you don't have Engine in your hand but you have branded fusion, you go ahead and make this, and that turns on your whole combo. This was made quite a lot, so that's pretty insane. Lubellion and Albion, I made Albion a lot just because. And I would make Albion and just leave it in defense position for my opponent's turn, because if they pop something, then in the end phase I'm getting another branded fusion, and it's just insane. So you guys saw that I'm playing Super Poly, so for Super Poly targets, we're playing Stargan Venom, Predaplant, Garura, and Mid-Dragon. I did make Mid-Dragon once. Garura was amazing. I didn't make this card, and I didn't make this card. They're really good. I didn't play into Unchained today, so they're not as good as I wanted them to be, or as good as you can make them. But these cards were pretty good all day. Super Poly, oddly enough, made me Mirror Jade more than it made me anything else. So that's the extra, except for the fact that we're playing Zeus. We are playing Zeus with no XZs because we played Talents, and this might come out now that Chimera is gone, but I wanted my Chimera mirror match, or not the mirror, but the Chimera matchup to be a little bit easier with Talents. I didn't make this card, but it was nice to know that if I would have needed it, it was there. So that's pretty good. I think Tyler played into a Chimera player and Talents to his Arise Heart, and he didn't have this, and so like it comes up in those niche situations, but it's not always a thing, so you don't have to play that card. It was either that or Linguribo. Getting into the side, so we've got Board Breakers, we have Evenly Matched, 2 Dark Holes, 2 Kaijus, and 2 Cosmic Cyclones. So this is our Board Breakers. This is our standard going second package that we can swap out for. These are really good for the Unchained matchup. I didn't play them, so these didn't come in all day. Kaijus came in, Dark Hole came in, and Evenly came in. Evenly was insane for me all day. It killed so many people's boards. It was great into Chimera. It was great into Rescue Ace. It was pretty decent into the other stuff that I saw. So yeah. And then we're playing 2 Drolls. I think this card is terrible right now, to be honest with you. I'm only playing 2 in the side because, and this is scummy, but I knew Purely was going to be there, and I knew it's like pretty good into Purely. And also Droll kind of like shits on this deck because you search like, I think it's like 6 times by the end of your combos. So to go with this, we're siding in the 3rd Crossout Designator. Yeah, this came up a lot. So honestly, I never sided 2 Drolls. I was always siding 1 and then this.
Yeah.
So this card could probably be something else. Honestly, I wanted it to be D-Shifter because, as I'll talk about in the Chimera matchup, all 5 of the games I played against Chimera, he had D-shifter, and it just wasn't that
So
good.
did you had to cross out a droll in any games today?
Devin, did I cross out a droll against you?
No, you called back.
Yeah, I called by it.
Okay.
No, I cross outed a lot of stuff. Against Infernobles, he entered the battle phase when I had Dragoons up, and I just cross outed evenly, and he had 2 evenlies in hand, so that was dead. I cross outed D barrier a lot, as you guys are about to see. We're playing 3D barrier.
Beautiful card.
I love this card. Single-handedly wins the purely matchup, as we saw.
Some commons?
Oh yeah, they're commons. They're commons. He lost to the commons. But this card is insane. A lot. You want so I wanted a good going first card. This card is weird, right? Because it's not good into Unchained, except to get their wave. They're not summoning Wave King Caesar, but it's not bad because it turns off their whole Dark Seal package, which is mostly how they clear boards, going second. So this was good into that. I knew it was really good into Purely. It's super good into the mirror match. I mean, you auto win when you resolve it, which is why we have to play a crossout designator. And I figured if I was going to play 1 barrier, I might as well add the 2 more, and that way I have at least some good going first card. So going first, it was usually like, this is what I was siding in, because, I mean, you want to cross out the evenly so that way you don't get evenly. I hate this card. This card is my bane of my Nat's existence. So yeah, that's the main deck, the side deck, and the extra deck. I love this. I don't think the side's going to change too much for now, other than one of the drolls might become... I have no idea what else it could be.
Very nice deck profile, Danny. You went out and showed out. Shout out to Vance for holding such a great event. It was pretty cool. You came home with the mat. Beautiful. We met some new friends today too. That was a pretty cool thing. Got them in our YouTube shorts, and you guys will be check out the channel if you ain't seen those yet. You got any shout outs, and let's go over some matchups.
Yeah, so I'll go over the matchups first. So round 1 was the Super Scrub Madolce player.
Jesus.
It was Preston. He bricked both games. That's actually going to be the story of today with me playing team members, was they bricked. So Preston bricked both games. I think one of the games you had a kind of a board, but my hand was insane.
Yeah, you just had it, and I drew Messenger Gelato both hands, so
yeah.
I mean, what can you do?
Messenger Gelato's glued to this man's hand.
It is.
Round 2, I played against Chimera. That was a little weird. His name was Holland. Holland, again, I'm really sorry about our game 1. It was really weird. So I went first. I drew my hand. I had talents. That's important because I looked at him and said, draw phase. And he said, yep. I said, standby phase. And then I said, main phase. And then he said, D-shifter. And I was like, okay. So then I talents, looked at his hand. We kept going. And then I'd say about 3 minutes later, he was like, talents is only in the main phase. And I said, well, yeah, I said main phase. And you said D-shifter. And that was a little weird interaction. Again,
was there a judge call on that? Or?
No, there was no judge call.
And that was one thing too. Everybody here was super cool, and our judge was actually really cool too.
So shout out to him for being super cool about that. I appreciated you for not being super mean about that. I know after our match, you were like, "I'm coming out to get you," and we had the rematch in the finals. That was cool. So I ended up 2-0 in him. Game 2, I opened up insane to crack his board, evenly matched OP. Round 3, I played against Rescue Ace. We 2-0'd that. Round 4, I played against Infernobles. That's actually a really hard matchup, but we lose the dice roll. I won the dice roll, thankfully. Game 1, I got it. Game 2, he got it. And then Game 3, I got it. Then we had Top Cut. There was only 12 or 13 players there, but they were all on meta. I don't think anyone was playing off meta except for you, Preston.
Yeah.
So it was really cool, and most of them were really good. That's what was really cool about the event. I played into Purely, which was Devin. That wasn't even a match. Game 1, he bricked. Game 2, I bricked. Game 3, I had the God hand.
Tell him what I bricked.
So his hand, what'd you have? 3 Nibiru's, Ash, Droll?
3
Ash.
nibs.
It was nib, ash, droll.
Yeah, he went first, by the way. So he said pass, and I said, it's one of those games. So we didn't really play. And then the final matchup, I played against the Chimera player I originally played earlier on. Game 1, I bricked. I was like, oh my god, this is karma coming back because we didn't have the communication we should have game 1, which is on me and him. And then game 2, I got it. And game 3, I had to play out of my mind. And I ended up getting it, taking the deck, the deck's mat home, which is really cool. Shout outs though. So shout outs to Joseph for lending me cards. Shout outs to Devin for for talking about matchups on the way there. Shout outs to Tyler and Preston for being there and being hyped the whole time. Preston was getting some cool shorts, so make sure you guys check out the channel and the shorts videos for that.
We also got the Infra Noble deck profile too. We'll drop that as well.
Okay.
And let you guys check that out. I know that's a deck that people are kind of interested
Yeah,
in.
that deck
Especially
is...
your deck too. I'm glad that I got this. I'm glad you did something with it because I've been fiending to put this
Yeah,
profile out there.
we've got a lot. Other shout outs I have are Leonard from back home and Edgar from back home. You guys kind of helped me theory with some stuff. Brandon for helping me talk about the deck a little bit. He plays Chimera as well, so we kind of talked about it. I didn't like his ideas. I didn't take your ideas, Brandon. But thanks for talking about them with me. And then Murphy for talking to me about Lingaribo last night and telling me that Talents is good, even though I know you hate Talents. Shout outs to Alex for switching to Unchained the day before and getting scrubbed out of his event.
He is not going to want to hear that.
Nope. And then Michael got second place at his event, so that was pretty cool, playing Code Talkers again.
Yeah. Like the video if you want to see that profile. I'm not going to get it unless you guys want to see it.
If you guys give this profile 100 likes, we might see if he can make a little time for us.
Top 32, Michael.
Shout out to my girlfriend who between every single round was like texting me, telling me how amazing I was and how pumped I was. I'm not going to tell you what she told me when I said I got first place, but it was good stuff. So shout outs to you, babe. And yeah, that's the whole profile. Play Chimera branded. People are saying it's bad. If you get D-barriered, you're bad. You didn't play around it. But if you don't get D-barriered, the deck is crazy. And it surely as shit bricks purely, and that's all you need to do.
All right, Danny, thank you so much for coming to play for POP.1 again and doing what you're supposed to do. It's fucking awesome, man. You get it. You did it. You killed it. And you're back in the seat, man. I cannot wait to get you back in the seat, dude. You always do
Once
great.
more before Germany.
Yeah, once more. Maybe like 8 more. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, shout outs.